At 17, I stood on a cold auditorium stage with a shaking voice and a dream so fragile, it shattered with every smirk in the crowd. I wasn't even supposed to be there. I wasn't the talented one, or the promising one in my family, school, or friend group. I was the backup plan for every group project, the shadow in the yearbook photos, the invisible line in every poem I wrote but never shared. And yet, there I was auditioning for the school talent showcase with a monologue I wrote at 3 a.m., scribbled into the margins of my notebook between math problems I didn't understand. "You sure about this?" one of the teachers asked, not unkindly, just already preparing for the no. I wasn't sure. Not at all. I performed anyway, stumbled through it, forgot a line, repeated another, laughed nervously to fill the space. The silence afterward was louder than any applause could have been. When I stepped off the stage, I overheard a boy from the back whisper to his friend, "Cringe." That was my last attempt at anything for a while. The thing about not being believed in is that it starts like a background noise. You get used to it. A sideways glance here. And "are you sure?" there. But eventually you internalize it. It stops being them doubting you and starts being you doubting you. My parents had already picked favorites. My brother got straight A's and a basketball scholarship. My sister painted like a young prodigy. Me? I was still figuring it out. That was code for nothing impressive yet. Every family dinner came with suggestions. Maybe nursing school? You could try something stable like data entry. Writing isn't really a job, sweetheart. Eventually, I stopped defending myself. I smiled, nodded, and tucked my dreams under the dinner table. College was worse. A sea of confident, talented people who seemed to wake up knowing who they were and where they were going. I majored in communications because it sounded like something that wouldn't get laughed at. I took night classes, so I wouldn't have to talk to people. I started a blog in secret, posted short stories under a pen name. At first, they were bad. I mean, really bad. 0 comments. 1 view, probably me. Still, I posted again. And again. And again. Something inside me wanted to try, even when no one was clapping. Even when I thought I wasn't good enough. I didn't believe in me, but I was writing like someone who wanted to. It wasn't until my junior year that someone finally noticed. Her name was Professor Dean, a guest lecturer from the English department. She read an anonymous submission in a campus writing contest and picked mine. "This one," she said, waving the paper. "Whoever wrote this, keep writing. There's something real here." I didn't win. I didn't even make it to the top 5. But for the first time, someone had called my writing real. That night, I cried in the library bathroom, half from joy, half from the crushing thought that I almost never submitted it at all. The next few years were slow. Painfully slow. I graduated with no job offers, no awards, and no confidence. I moved back home and worked at a grocery store to pay rent to my parents, who still thought I was lost. I kept writing. I applied to internships. Got rejected. I submitted to magazines. Got ghosted. I queried agents. Got form letters. I kept writing. One day, I woke up to an email that changed everything. A small online publisher wanted to feature one of my short stories. It wasn't a big name. There was no money, but it was something. When it went live, it got 13 comments. Real ones. From strangers. They used words like relatable, powerful, and you wrote what I felt. That night, I read every comment 5 times. Printed them. Taped them above my desk. I believed them. For the first time, I let myself believe them. The road from there was long. Not glamorous. I got freelance gigs. I started ghostwriting for clients. I stayed up until 2 a.m. doing jobs that paid $20 a pop. I edited wedding speeches, eulogies, company bios. I said yes to everything. And I kept writing my stories. Slowly, the work came in steadier. I built a website. I got return clients. I raised my prices. I self-published a novella. It sold 37 copies in the first month, 36 of which I'm sure were friends, and one was my mom, even though she said, I didn't understand it. But someone in Oregon left a review. She made me feel seen. I didn't feel lonely. When I was alone, I felt lonelier in rooms full of people who didn't get it, who thought dreams were luxuries, who laughed at artists. But the more I poured into my work, the less I needed applause to keep going. I stopped asking for permission to matter. 2 years ago, I got invited to speak at a small writers' conference. It was surreal. I stood on stage older now, still nervous, but with a different kind of energy. The kind that comes not from ego, but from knowing who you are even when no one else does. I talked about doubt, about the long silence, about all the times I wanted to quit, about the difference between failure and giving up. Someone in the audience raised their hand. What made you keep going? I smiled. Honestly, I didn't. Not all the time. But something in me did. Even when I didn't believe in me, some part of me still wrote, still dreamed, still whispered, what if? Now my inbox is full of the messages I used to dream of. Your story helped me through my breakup. I started writing again because of you. You made me feel less alone. I still remember the days I couldn't even make eye contact in the mirror. There's no fairy tale ending here. Just a quiet, daily decision to keep showing up even if no one claps. Even if you're the only one who reads your work. Even if your voice shakes when you speak. I don't write for applause anymore. I write because it saved me. Because there was a girl once, standing on a stage, voice trembling, hands sweating, thinking she had no right to dream. And she was wrong. So I keep writing for her. For you. For anyone who's ever whispered, nobody believes in me. Because even when you don't, I do.